Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Talking Movies with Sean, Kenny, and Jim. And I am Sean,
I'm Kenny.
And I'm Jim.
and we've got people in the chat already. Hi, Dan. Hey, Patrick.
How's it going, fellas?
Jones.
Hey guys.
um, so tonight we don't have a guest, but we've got a jam-packed show for you tonight. We're going to do 10 guilty pleasure movies for Stacy. For all three of us. So that's 30 guilty pleasure movies. We also have Oscar predictions for the top 6 awards. And we also have our movie recommendations to get to. So we probably will fit it all in 2 hours. So I'm not going to talk too much. Stacy, how is everything tonight? We are very good. One thing I did want to say at the top of the show about guilty pleasures, and I think I speak for all three of us, but if I don't, feel free to kick in, is that none of us feel guilty about any of the movies that we are picking tonight. We're all proud of our picks, and nobody should ever feel guilty for liking any movie or any genre of movie. We always make fun of Dirty Dancing and all that kind of stuff, but
as we should.
But seriously, gatekeeping's for assholes. So if you can't find something interesting out of the 30 movies we show you tonight, God help you. So that's all I can say.
Well said. Well said.
Yeah, and what we're gonna do, everybody, is we're gonna have our IMDb rating.
Yes.
And then the Rotten Tomatoes, what Rotten Tomatoes thought of it. So that's going to be, as the kids say, juicy. So because some of them, it's all in taste. So it's going to be fun. I'm like really looking forward to this show.
Yep. We were in our pre-show. I did the average score of my movies, the average audience score on Rotten Tomatoes for my movies, and it's a 27.6. So
it's gonna be great. I can't wait.
Yep. So we'll start tonight where we usually start. We start with Kenny.
Yep.
All right.
So,
absolutely.
Okay, the first one up is a 1991 movie. The IMDb rating is 6.0, but the Rotten Tomatoes score is 11, and it is Drop Dead Fred.
Nice.
Nice.
I love that movie. It's like, hey, snot face. Absolutely love that movie. When I went down to Florida and showed it to my nieces, they grabbed their phones and like, Uncle Kenny, this is the stupidest thing I've ever seen in my life. Meanwhile, their uncle was rolling in the recliner laughing. Ew, you're ugly. And I'm just like, I think I'm 55 years old and I still laugh my ass off. And I was one of 6 people in the theater opening weekend to see that movie.
Yeah.
It did terrible, but it was a cult favorite, and all the big put out like big copies, and I got my Blu-ray hot copy of it through people. So
through people.
Yeah, I know people.
Didn't it get a legit release?
Yeah, it did, but I had got a hot copy off of eBay.
Oh, okay.
From somebody's Laserdisc. So yeah, did they say what a pile of shit? Yeah, you're right, Dan. Mama says don't go walking through the kitchen, and then the dining room with the white carpet with the shit volcano. So that's where my head goes. All right.
That's awesome.
Nothing wrong with that. You like what you like.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, Jim, you're up, bud.
Yeah, because I don't know how I can compete with that one. I am doing mine. They're in no particular order as far as how I like them, but I am going to go from descending order on the IMDb score. Okay.
Oh, okay.
So the highest on the IMDb is this film at 6.9, which shocked me. Then I went on Rotten Tomatoes and saw that the critical score was 15 and the audience score is 85. So that explains the 6.9. And I thought, wow, there must be an awful lot of stoners in the world because I'm talking about Grandma's Boy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
This movie's a piece of shit. Unless you're stoned. If you're stoned, it's hilarious. And I don't like Adam Sandler all that much, but this movie stars all of his buddies,
Yeah.
and they're great. They're great. But the ones that steal the movie for me are Shirley Knight, Shirley Jones, and what's the other? Shirley Knight, Shirley Jones, and the lady from Everybody Loves Raymond.
Yeah, Doris Roberts.
Thank you, Doris Roberts. The three grandmas.
Yep.
They are hysterically funny in this movie, especially when they get baked out. And again, really, really bad movie. I absolutely love it. So, first one, Grandma's Boy.
Yeah, I read a book about Shirley Jones. She was kind of a kinky little minx.
Yeah, well, she was kinky in that movie.
Yeah, that's true. But
Why
I was
are
like,
you so
maybe
sweaty? I started a fight club.
All right, mine are not in any particular order. These are just sort of in the order that I wrote them down. But I kind of had to struggle on this because I did struggle with the idea of a guilty pleasure movie. That's why I kind of said that disclaimer at the beginning of the show, because like I don't feel guilty about any of these movies, but
Right. I mean,
one of the things that is sort of a thread with these movies is these are a lot of movies I watched when I was growing up. So that'll probably give you a hint as why I am the way I am.
Yep.
So the first one that I'm picking, it has an IMDb score of 4.9, a Rotten Tomato critic score of 67%, which is oddly high.
Yeah.
And an audience score of 28%. And that is Dinosaurus from 1960.
I've never heard of it.
I've never heard of that.
It is it's directed by Irvin S. Yeworth Jr. It's basically it used to play on Saturday mornings a lot, or Saturday afternoons when I was growing up. Basically it's just a typical dinosaurs reanimated in the present day of 1960. But just to give you an idea where this movie comes from, it's listed on IMDb as a comedy as well as being a science fiction horror movie. But it's got this kind of goofy charm to it. There's a character named Dumpy. There's a scene where a drunken Irish guy is told to watch over these still frozen dinosaurs that are being like guarded. And then there's a narcoleptic man who's put in charge of ringing an alarm if something bad happens. So it's really dumb. There's a really funny scene with a caveman who comes across modern appliances. I don't know. It's just really goofy. It was goofy to me when I was 5 years old the first time I saw it, but it's still goofy now, but for different reasons. But I really like it. I actually have 2 copies of it. I got it on DVD, and then I bought it on Blu-ray. So,
Yeah, I never heard of that one.
Yeah, so Dinosaurus.
Yeah, Mr. Dan commented it was either on our UHF channels, like growing up as a kid. So I probably seen it, Mr. Dan, but I don't remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just wrote it down. I never heard of that one.
Yeah, I wrote it down too.
And to make sure you get the right one, because there's so many movies named Dinosaurus.
Yeah.
It has an exclamation point at the end.
Oh, make sure I jot that down.
Yeah, I gotta get that one down too.
All the greatest movies have exclamation points.
That's right. Just so you know.
All right. My number, and like I said, these are not in any kind of order. These are just like the ones I wrote down. Is a 1984 movie. The IMDb is a 5.6, but the Rotten Tomatoes is 17%. And it's Ice Pirates with Robert Urich.
Yes.
Nice.
Love the movie, but I remember, and out of the 10 that I have, 7 of them I seen in the theaters. So these are just, so these are just not, and this is the only reason why we went to see this movie in the theaters is my mom was in love with Dan Tana from Vegas.
Right. Yeah.
So that's the only reason why we went to see it. And when she went and she thought it was going to be like an episode of Vegas.
No.
No, it was
Not quite.
far from an episode of Vegas.
Yeah, that was
So-
one of the first movies that was playing at the theater when I started working there
Oh,
in
okay.
'83. So again, it's one of those movies. It's a bad movie, but I'll
Oh,
always
yeah.
love it. I'll always
Yeah.
Space Herpes, and I love it when they're getting ready to get turned into eunuchs, and all it is a big ass pair of jaws. He's just like, oh, starts screaming.
Yeah, so that's my my second one.
I haven't seen that movie in forever, but when we had a satellite dish, we had one of those old C-band satellite dishes, the one you'd see in somebody's backyard, and it's like,
Yeah.
5 feet across or 6 feet across. And we got one of those D-scramblers where you could get like HBO and Showtime and everything for free. And Ice Pirates was on Showtime, and it was on almost all the time.
All the time.
Yeah, because that was an HBO favorite too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Beastmaster. Hey,
Yeah.
Beastmaster's on. That's
Yeah.
what HBO stand for back in the day.
That's awesome. Good pick, Kenny.
That's a great pick,
Thanks.
Kenny. Okay, my next entrance in the Hall of Shame has a ranking of 6.2 on IMDb, and it is actually the highest ranked critically film from Rotten Tomatoes on my list with a whopping 37%
Wow.
and a 41% audience. And you guys haven't seen this one because I brought this one up a long time ago and you never heard of it, but I'm talking about The Brothers Grimsby from 2016 with Sacha Baron Cohen, Mark Strong, Penelope Cruz. If you ever wanted to know what a elephant bukkake scene looked like, this is the movie for you. If you ever wanted to know how Donald Trump could catch HIV by a kid that looks like Harry Potter, this is the movie for you.
And I love the fact, Sean, he doesn't have a DVD version of it. He has a Blu-ray version of
It's on Blu-ray, baby.
it. That's amazing.
This movie is so disgusting. It is one of the grossest movies I've ever seen. But my God, is it funny? And the first time
That's
my mom
hilarious.
saw it, she was pushing 80 at the time. And even the bukkake scene, she was laughing her ass off hysterically, like in shock. Just it's one of those, like you can't believe what you're watching, but you can't help but laugh. It's either laugh or scream,
That is absolutely hysterical.
But yeah, I understand why that is not everybody's cup of tea. It is absolutely hysterical to me. So yeah, Brothers Grimsby is my second pick.
Okay.
Oh, we got Carlos with a question.
Hey, Carlos.
Hey, Carlos, release yourself. Yeah, nope, not in this dojo. Elephant bukkake.
Hey, Movie Collector Maniac has it on Blu-ray too.
There you go.
That's great.
We're the two people in America who own it.
That's awesome. I'll have to look for that one because that sounds like that's
It's
horrible.
hysterically funny. It's stupid.
Sounds-
I mean, it is unbelievably stupid, but it is
Well,
so funny.
You're with two other people that like stupid movies, so
Yep,
Yeah.
exactly.
Oh yeah. Do you remember, Kenny? Remember when the Dollar Trees were having the movies that were super cheap,
yeah.
and everybody picked up movie 43, and everybody
Yes.
Mhm.
everybody was like, "Oh my god, it's so terrible! That's the worst movie ever." I thought it was hilarious.
I did too.
Yeah, me too. My buddy Daniel on my live stream a couple
Yeah.
episodes back, that was the movie he picked for the underrated.
Oh really?
I said, name an underrated film. And he was like, movie 43. And I was like, wow,
Yeah.
nobody talks about that. Good for you.
Yeah, that's funny. So that's right up my alley. All right, my next movie is from 1982. It's got an IMDb score of 3.7. It does not have a critic score on Rotten Tomatoes. The audience score on Rotten Tomatoes is 26%. It was directed by Tom Kennedy. I only have it on this 4-pack. As far as I know, it's the only way to get it. It is, let me see if I can get it to the camera. Whoop. Sorry. It is this one right here.
Time Walker.
Yeah, Time Walker.
Time Walker.
Yeah. I saw it.
Ah.
Don't remember it.
Yeah, okay, there we go. If I can, there we go. This one,
There you
Time
go.
Walker. There we go. Sorry. It's about a mummy that is revived by X-rays on a college campus, and shut up, Kenny.
It sounds so plausible.
Well, it's even better because the mummy is not a mummy; it's an alien.
Oh, that sounds awesome.
And when he's revived, he goes around campus. He's actually searching for pieces of an alien artifact that has been taken out of his tomb. It's got the worst dialogue ever. But the reason I like it is because the concept, as stupid as it sounds, it's actually kind of interesting.
Right.
It's poorly executed, but it's kind of interesting. It's got ridiculous. I mean, the science obviously sounds really stupid. The characters are all dopes. But I still liked it. I killed a Saturday afternoon with it, and I thought it was fantastic. So,
It's available on Tubi.
Nice.
is it on Tubi?
Yes, it is, sir.
Oh, awesome. Awesome. So
I
there
know
you go.
I've seen that, but I do not remember it at all.
Yeah, this is one of the more recent finds. I watched this. When did I watch this? I watched this in 2020. So I found this one about 4 years ago. So this is not one from my childhood, but
Right.
I just enjoyed it. It's crap, but I loved it. So,
It's
Dan,
your
you can
crap.
watch it now on Tubi, pal. I never even heard of this before. But it
yeah,
sounds
Mr. Dan
great.
remembers the commercials. I don't even remember the commercials. So,
Wow.
but yeah, it's pretty bad.
I remember Time Rider. You remember that one?
I remember seeing the box for that in the store, but I don't think
I
ever
saw
seen
that
it.
piece of shit theatrically.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you're 2 for 2, Sean.
Yeah, those are really good. All right, let me see if I won't top.
No, we're not. Kenny, none of us are going to top anything
Yeah.
he's got coming.
No. All right, my next one is from 1993. It's got a 5.9 IMDb rating, but a 33% rating on Rotten Tomatoes, and it's Son-in-Law with Pauly Shore.
I love Son-in-Law.
I love Son-in-Law too.
That's the movie that made me fall in love with Carla Gugino.
Carla Gugino. Oh,
Oh,
man. That
yeah.
and the Always video with Bon Jovi.
I don't know. I just remember seeing
Oh,
that movie
dude, you
and
gotta
going,
watch,
that girl
watch
is so
that video.
good looking.
watch that video with her in it. Absolutely stunning. I was in love with her before when she was on I think she got it right after. I think this is what got her Spin City with Michael J. Fox.
Yeah.
Because she was on the first season, and then
Yeah.
she was fired because she was too much taller than Michael. That's a true story. That's a true story too.
What a goofy reason to be fired.
Yeah, his wife said he would be diminished. You know, that's why. Like, if you watch the first season of that, he's always like kneeling on the bed or like standing on a chair or like near something that he can prop himself up. You know,
Right.
Because she's a big girl. She's 5'9". So
Could have gotten platform shoes like Tom Cruise does in every movie.
yeah. I just seen something today because you guys know I'm a Bogart fan. He had to wear lifts during the shooting in Casablanca because Ingrid Bergman was too tall.
Ingrid Bergman was too tall. Yep.
And they show him like having a smoke on the with the Play It Again Sam guy on a stairway with his lifts.
Yep.
So
yeah.
all right, Jim.
Son-in-Law is that one and Encino Man, I think, are the only two Pauly Shore movies I can watch without wanting to like destroy my television set.
I like In the Army now too. I thought that was pretty good with Andy Dick.
Yeah, I don't remember it, but I Son-in-Law, like I said, that movie was actually pretty damn funny if I recall. I haven't seen it in
I
30 years.
Either, but
30 years at least.
That.
And Carlos, I saw the comment about Carlos with the Russ Meyer films. We ought to hook him up with Texas.
Oh
Yep.
yeah.
I have no idea why you want to watch a Russ Meyer film. But I have two ideas why you would.
Yeah, there you go. Sometimes 4, depending on the movie. Okay, am I out?
Yep.
Okay. Clocking in at number 3 with a bullet. Did I get these out of? No, I didn't. I'm sorry.
You're on 3.
Number 3 with a bullet. Yeah. With a whopping score of 6.1 on IMDb. And we've got a 30% critics and 63% audience on Rotten Tomatoes. We're talking about the 1991 classic by the great acting thespian Brian Bosworth in Stone Cold.
Yes, I love that movie.
You want to talk about cheese? This is cheddar. High-priced cheddar. I love this movie so much. And it's mainly because of Lance Henriksen and William Forsythe as the bad guys, the bikers.
Yeah, I tried to order that on Kino Lorber, and it sold out. Like, seriously.
Kino with slip, baby.
Yeah,
Nice.
that's beautiful. That's beautiful, man.
Jim took your copy.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, man. I love that piece of shit so much. And it is. Let's be honest. That is not a good movie either, but
No.
it is so entertaining.
I've never seen that the whole way through, but when it played at my theater, I would go in and just drop in and watch a few lines of dialogue and come out with a big smile on my face.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous.
It's like a C version of Point Break, you know, as far as that goes. You know, I mean, it has that same vibe. You know, it's like totally ridiculous.
Patrick, I'm not sure if Patrick approves or disapproves.
Yeah, well, hey, I've seen some of the shit that Patrick likes.
All right.
And judging by the reaction from you two, I know it's a good pick. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I love
Totally.
it.
I like I said, I've never seen the whole thing, but I've seen enough to know what it is, and
Yeah,
I
it's great.
totally approve.
Great cheese.
Yep. All right. My number 3 from 1977 with an IMDb score of 4.1 does not have a critic score on Rotten Tomato, but it has an audience score of 28%, written and directed by Steven Traxler. You know that name, right?
I didn't hear it because you blinked out for a second.
Oh, Steven Traxler, written and directed. You don't know that name, don't worry.
No, I'm thinking about it, but I'm no.
Woo. Slithis.
Slithis. Oh shit. Yeah, I never would have gotten that. That's awesome.
I saw this in the theater with my dad in 1977. Unfortunately, they like in the theaters when this came out, I guess they had like all sorts of goofy like promotional things. They literally had a guy in a Slithis suit at some theaters walking around trying to scare people.
It's too funny.
It's
I was
hilarious.
just looking on RogerEbert.com here. Roger Ebert gave this movie a half star in 1978. But you also got a 4-page booklet with a picture of Slithis on the front, and then you had some sort of instructions. And you would put it up. You were supposed to put the picture of Slithis under your pillow, and then you'd be a member of the Slithis fan club.
Viral marketing before the internet. You got
that was back in the day, you know, when they really had to work hard to get you to want to see the movie. But they didn't have any of that stuff when I saw the movie. That they just had the movie itself. But this was the first movie I saw boobs in.
Wow, cool.
Now we know why it's on the list.
That's why you know it's on the list. But it's just a crappy Creature from the Black Lagoon type movie. And it's, you know, it's created by radioactivity off the coast of California. It's crap, but man, is it fun. It's just garbage.
Yeah.
But I have a soft spot for it. A, because it was the first movie I saw boobs in, and B, because I saw it in the theater and I just fell in love with it because it was one of those first movies that, you know, Rubber Suit Monster. And it was, you know, my experience of going to see it. It was something that I got to enjoy in a theater, and it just sort of imprinted itself on me. So I have pleasant memories when I watch it. So that's just what
awesome.
it is. So
That's awesome.
That's also available on Tubi.
oh, great.
Yeah.
It's also known as Spawn of the Slithis. So
Yes,
sometimes
that's
if you,
when it comes up. Spawn of the
okay.
Slithis.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that way back when, and that's another one I don't really remember, but I remember as a kid I loved it. I thought it was
Yeah.
great.
Yeah. It's pure cheese, but yeah.
guys, write all the everybody that's watching us, write these down, and I will let you know if it's available on Tubi for free streaming. So write these down. So far we got 2 that are on that's on Tubi.
Awesome.
Still not a sponsor.
Still not
Still
a
not a
sponsor.
sponsor.
I'm working on it.
Bastards.
All right. My next pick is from 1992. It's got a 5.7 IMDb rating, but on Rotten Tomatoes, 0%.
Wow.
Ooh.
Yes.
Ooh.
It's Folks with Donna Michi
Oh,
and
Jesus.
Tom Selleck.
Yeah, I've seen it.
This movie is good. And I can't, and people crap on it. The reason why we rented it was because Magnum's in it, and we watched it. And Tom Selleck reluctantly has to take care of his dad when his dad starts getting dementia.
Yep.
And his sister doesn't want to take care of him. And Tom Selleck is the most klutziest person in the world. Like anything that happens, he falls and stuff. And his dad, I'll spoil it. It's from 1992.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's a 30-odd movie.
His dad keeps on saying, McDonald, like that, throughout the whole movie. And Tom Selleck's like, Dad, I'll take you to McDonald's. And he's like, McDonald. Well, here he finds out he has shares to McDonnell Douglas that is worth millions. That he literally, because his sister's played by Mary Kay Place. I love Mary Kay Place, and she's a total bitch throughout the movie and stuff. And she's got twins that are really bad with his kids and stuff like that. So it's a really funny movie, and I couldn't believe that it got bad ratings for it. But yeah, so,
I saw it back in the day, but again, I honestly don't remember it. I remember it being sad.
Yeah, it was sad because he was ill and he kept on trying to get him, but it was just the predicaments that Tom Selleck would get himself into. It was really funny, but it's hard to get. I had it on VHS, and I got it when Netflix rented the movies to you at home.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I got it, and I burned myself a copy because I could never find a copy of it out in the wild. So
that's probably Touchstone.
Yeah, it might be.
The more I think about it, it probably is.
I think it's
Touchstone or Hollywood.
It's 20th Century Fox.
Oh, I stand corrected.
Yeah.
Well, it's Disney now. So
yeah. Same thing.
Yeah. And Folks also has an exclamation point.
That's right.
Yes, it does. I have never heard of this movie before.
It's a good movie.
I saw it on video.
Watch the trailer, Sean, for it. I think you'll enjoy it.
Yeah, that's funny because when you said Folks, I immediately thought of the one with Roger Moore.
Yeah, with the 2 Fs.
With the 2 Fs. Yeah,
right.
That's what I was going to say. Oh, yeah, Roger Moore. Oh, okay. I like that movie, but no. Okay, cool. Awesome.
All right, Jim, you're up, dude.
Okay, number 4 with a whopping IMDb of 5.7, critics ranking of 31, audience of 56. I have no idea why I like this movie. I don't. I really don't. But I do. I for some reason I love this movie, even though everything in my body tells me that Hudson Hawk is a total piece of shit. But I love it. I absolutely love it, and I don't know why. Because again, there's nothing in this movie that works. Nothing except for the very beginning with Leonardo da Vinci or whatever doing the Mona Lisa, and she smiles and she's got this jacked up face. He's like, and he just
Yeah, but you know what, Jim? The chemistry between Danny Aiello and Bruce Willis really worked together.
Yeah, the scene where they're ripping off and they're singing "Swinging on a Star." That's one of the little clues I left on my Instagram post was "Swinging on a Star." But that's my favorite scene in the whole movie. And again, I don't know why, but every time I watch that sequence, I just smile. I love it. And again, it's not a good movie, but for whatever reason, I love it. That's about the only one on my list that I would say, quote unquote, is kind of a guilty pleasure because it's one that I don't like to admit to enjoying, but I do enjoy it. So, yep, Hudson Hawk.
and it's got an extremely hot Andy McDowell in it too.
Yeah, Andy McDowell's
Yeah.
absolutely beautiful. She's still absolutely beautiful to this day.
Absolutely
I mean,
gorgeous.
her daughter's beautiful too.
Yeah.
Yep. You got some love in the chat room. Patrick likes it. Stacy likes it. I have to admit, I have not seen it. It played at my theater, but I never got a chance to see it.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I didn't.
And
see
I was
it
expecting it to
theatrically.
be a huge hit based on the trailer that I saw. And like, I always tried to predict like if a movie was going to be a big hit or not. And it's a Friday when we get a movie in, I would wait to see if it was going to be big that first night. And I'm like, why is nobody coming to see this movie? There was nobody there.
I think TriStar thought so too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's a vanity project. That's a Bruce Willis vanity project.
Yeah.
for sure. You know, but again, I there's just something about it. I just adore it.
Oh, well.
Good
Good
pick.
pick, though.
That's a good pick.
All right. Again, I did not go searching for the worst movies I could pick, but this is the lowest score.
Yeah, I want to know what this one is.
This got a 2.6 on IMDb. Did not get a critic score on Rotten Tomatoes, but it has an audience score on Rotten Tomatoes of 8%.
Oh shit!
It's also the one of these movies that I've seen in the theater not once but twice. And I
You're
had it on
killing
DVD, and I bought it on Blu-ray.
Lori's a lucky man, lucky girl.
I sold the DVD copy. I only have it
Oh,
on Blu-ray.
Okay.
Coward.
But it is 1976's Ape.
Oh, okay.
Another one I've never heard of.
It came out in October of 1976, basically to sort of steal the thunder of the King Kong,
King Kong.
from 1976.
Yeah.
It's a South Korean film. Well, South Korean funded. It was filmed in Korea. It was released by the Lee Ming Film Company, home of all the classics.
Yeah.
But it's supposedly featuring a 36-foot ape, but they can't seem to get the proportions right. So from scene to scene, the monkey seems to change size. If you want to know more about this, I did a Schlock Cinema episode, which was something I used to do on my old channel.
Yeah.
I brought that series over to my Movie Assault channel. So I have an episode of Schlock Cinema on Movie Assault about Ape, and another pick in this list too. Ape is APE. You can see that there's little asterisks between the letters, maybe not. But it supposedly stands for attacking primate monster, with the E capitalized in monster. It was directed by Paul Leader.
And this is also on Tubi,
I was
guys.
gonna say, please tell me this is on Tubi.
It is
Yeah.
on Tubi.
If you don't get hooked in the first scene, you won't. The first scene takes place on a boat, and they don't even explain how the ape got on a boat. But they say they're taking him to show him off at Disney World or something, and then
Oh
he
my
escapes
God.
off the boat, and he fights a dead shark. So you've got this guy in a gorilla suit ripping apart a dead shark in the water, supposed to be fighting Jaws.
Oh God, you're killing me, man.
And then he wanders up on shore and he destroys an oil refinery. It's all the worst models you can see, but I give away all the greatness. If you don't want to sit through this, you can watch my Schlock Cinema episode. And the greatest scene in this is where the ape flips off the camera. So there you go. That's why I love that movie.
Oh God, follow that up, Kenny.
All right, I'm going to try. This one is in lure with a lot with me. Basically, we went to see it opening weekend in 1991. There was just the four of us in the theater when we went to see it.
Oh,
It
I
has
know
a-
it's coming.
Okay, it's a 2.9 on IMDb. but on Rotten Tomatoes, it gets a 3%,
Ooh.
and it's one of the greatest movies I've ever sat through. Cool as Ice with
I knew
Vanilla
it.
Ice.
Yes.
I knew it.
Yes. I absolutely love this movie.
I knew it.
Words to live by. Drop that zero and get with the hero. Yep. Damn Vanilla. I love that. I love it. Dodie Goodman is the old mechanic who goes, "Hey, I'm hip with the kids. I know what's cool." And then all of a sudden they break out dancing. And this dance music comes out of nowhere. There you go, Mr. Danny. Yep. One of the I love it. And you know what's even better? It came out on Kino Lorber. I mean, you have a movie like Elmer Gantry with Burt Lancaster, and then in the same order, I picked up Cool as Ice. Oh, it's just so great.
Yep, there's the construction site date again.
Oh,
Still haven't seen it. Still haven't seen it.
I didn't see it until I went to the theater. They did a late night series, which is actually the same series that I saw Ape at. The second time I saw it, they did a showing, a screening of Cool as Ice, and it literally was one of the best experiences I've had in a theater in my life, because I saw it with people who had seen it before and people who hadn't seen it before. And my God, I almost died laughing just from people shouting out stuff at the screen and just the whole experience of it. It was one of the greatest nights of my life. That was just fantastic. So I never want to see it again.
Oh, come on. We were sitting there and we were like, my buddy Brian, God love him, he turns to my brother and goes, "Yo, Mr. Keaton's a real dickhead, man. Let me tell you." Like that, you know? But yeah, Kristen Minter, she was gorgeous. She didn't have a career too much after that. I can't believe that didn't spring her into superstardom, you know? But she was a really pretty girl. Hey, cat. Yep. Man, it still lives 34 years later, and I still remember that, man.
Nope, still haven't seen it.
It's an experience, Jim.
Oh, I'm
you'll
sure.
Never forget.
It definitely is an experience. You got to watch it at least once.
Yeah. Syphilis is an experience too that I don't want to go through. But anyways.
Wow.
Ooh, that got ugly.
Okay. Number 5. Correct? Yeah. Okay. With a ranking of 5.4 on IMDb, 36% critically, 31% audience. I was going to go with Cocaine the movie, but everybody knows how much I love Cocaine the movie, and I wear that shit on my sleeve. So I was thinking, what other Stephen King adaptation is truly despised by most and that I really, really love? And it has to go to The Lawnmower Man.
Lawnmower Man, yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one.
With Pierce Brosnan, Jeffrey Lewis,
Jeff Fahey.
Jenny Wright, and of course, Jeff Fahey in a performance for the ages. He was Simple Jack a decade before Simple Jack. I didn't realize that until recently when I was watching this again, and I was like, holy shit, that's where Ben Stiller stole Simple Jack from Tropic Thunder. But I love that movie. I still love that movie. It is so ridiculous. The effects are obviously extremely dated. They were dated, a week after that movie came out.
Yep.
The director's cut is even more batshit crazy, which adds a whole half-hour subplot involving the monkey that I didn't know I needed in my life until I watched it.
That's fantastic.
Who knew the monkey's name was Turbo Man? You will after watching the director's cut of this, which clocks in, okay? The director's cut on this bad boy, 2 hours and 21 minutes.
Wow.
It's glorious. It's
Is
so
that the
bad.
Scream Factory version?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's got both versions on it. And
all right. I've got that.
it's awesome. I mean, again, the theatrical version is fun. The director's cut is, like I said, it's 40-odd minutes longer, and it's all plot. I mean, there's like maybe 1 or 2 extra effect scenes. The rest of it is deleted plot that got trimmed, you know?
Mhm.
And personally, I think it's a better movie, but it's still a piece of shit, you know? So, but I love it. I've always loved The Lawnmower Man. I actually saw that thing 4 times theatrically
Wow.
on my own dime. That was during a period where I wasn't working at the theater, and I saw
Wow.
that thing 4 times.
I saw that for free, and I only saw it once,
Yeah.
but I did buy it
I liked it.
to watch
yeah.
again.
Yeah, it's so bad, but I love it. I love it.
Yeah. I bought it specifically to watch the effect scenes again because I went on later. I don't know what they were done on, but I went on later to sell video editing systems. And after I got out of the movie business for a little bit, and I sold video toasters, which they did 3D modeling and stuff. And I don't know if any of the effects on that were done by that, but the very similar type effects
Yeah.
were possible on that. So I wanted to see them again.
Yeah, the early VR.
Yeah.
look. Yeah. And the guy that directed that movie, I mean, that's all he did. He directed that one. He directed Virtuality with Denzel. And he
Mhm.
did that horrible movie Hideaway with Jeff Goldblum and Jeremy Sisto. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they all had that virtual reality angle
Yeah.
to them, you know?
Yeah. I never saw Hideaway, but I bought the soundtrack. The soundtrack was actually pretty good.
Yeah. Soundtrack's best thing about that movie.
Yeah.
Because that's another piece of shit I saw theatrically. I saw all 3 of those movies theatrically.
Oh boy.
Must love the director.
No, it's because I like The Lawnmower Man so much.
Okay. All right. My next one is from 1986. It may be the newest movie on my list. It is. It's got an IMDb score of 3.9, a Rotten Tomato critic score of 8%, and a audience score of 17%. Directed by John Gillerman, but not really, because he wasn't on set very often because he was dealing with the grief of his I think it was his daughter passed away. So he would frequently leave the set, and so it was finished by a 21-year-old documentary filmmaker named Charles McCracken. But it is King Kong Lives, the sequel that you didn't need to know. The sequel to the 1976 King Kong. Jim, you're killing me. This is the sequel to the 1976 King Kong that came out in 1986, where King Kong gets a heart transplant.
I gotta mute my shit. I'm sorry.
And then when he needs a blood transfusion, they find Queen Kong and they have a baby.
Sorry, guys, this ain't on Tubi.
It's so bad.
I thought about leaving it out, Dan, because it's another giant movie. Yep.
Oh man, I was not expecting King Kong Lives. Oh shit.
Yeah, if you haven't noticed, I have a thing for giant monster movies.
Yes,
so,
you do.
Yes, I do.
Oh my god, that's awesome.
But
You're the one. I finally met somebody who likes that movie.
I didn't see it until what does Victor say? King Kong Lives, the movie where the studio told Siskel and Ebert not to shit on the movie, or else they wouldn't supply clips for their show.
Yep. That is absolutely true.
Wow.
I had to order this from Australia to get it on Blu-ray.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh,
that-
Jesus.
oh, God.
Well,
Nothing's gonna top that, man. Nothing's gonna top that.
just wait.
Oh yeah, shit.
I told you this was juicy. This Sean's list is awesome. Oh,
That is so good. King
So-
Kong Lives. Holy shit. I purged that thing from my mind, and as soon as you brought it back, it just came
And
rushing
Linda
back.
Hamilton is in it.
Yeah, I know.
she agreed to be in it because she thought it was going to kickstart her career like Jessica Lange in the first King Kong. All it did was
Yeah.
throw her career in the
Oh.
shitter.
So bad. It is so fucking bad.
Wow.
And the way you
Terminator 2 to
describe
get
the
her back
plot,
on track.
that is perfect. I mean, perfect.
Whew.
All right, Kenny, you're up.
All right. Well, I can't top that.
Have a great night, everybody.
Yeah, really. Wow. All right, my next one is from 1994. It's got a 5.3 IMDb rating and 48% Rotten Tomatoes ranking, and it's Cabin Boy with Chris Elliott.
That is a cool movie.
I like that. I like that too. So
Chris Elliott is an acquired taste.
yeah, very proud because I loved Get a Life. I loved that.
Me
show,
too.
Yeah.
You know, but he is very acquired taste. So, but
Yeah.
that's my.
Yeah, Cabin Boy's out there, man. The first time I saw that movie, I did not like it at all, but it grew on me.
Yeah, same here. Yeah.
Excuse me. I'm still.
I haven't seen that. When did that come out? What year was that?
94.
94? Okay.
That's the only movie Letterman's ever been in.
Yeah, he executive produced it too.
Yeah. Want to touch my monkey? Anyone? Anyone buy a monkey? Okay.
Man, I'm still crying from fucking King Kong Lives. I'm still recovering from that. Oh man, that was so good. Okay, number 6. I'm sorry, Kenny. Were you done? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was. I didn't know if Sean seen Texas is The Beast in Heat.
Yeah, I don't know what that is, Texas. I'll have to look that up, and I'm
I've
afraid
heard of
to.
The Beast Must Die, but I've never heard of The Beast in Heat.
Yeah, Beast Must Die, I've seen.
Of course you have.
It's got Peter Cushing in it.
Yeah, I was going to say it's got Peter Cushing in it. That's why I watched it. It's not that good.
It's not. It's
Very
entertaining.
dry.
Yeah, but it was all right.
Yeah. Okay, number 6. This is a movie that I mentioned on our action show. And neither one of you guys had ever heard of it, but you both saw the trailer and said, this looks awesome. And it is awesome. But according to this, it's got a 5.3 on IMDb. Nothing available on the critical score. And it ranks dead last in the audience score on my Rotten Tomato list, believe it or not, of 21.
Wow.
And that is James Glickenhaus's wonderful The Soldier with Ken Wall and William Prince and Klaus Kinski. And this movie's fucking awesome in so many ways. 1982. Doesn't make a bit of sense. It's ridiculous. It's got some of the best action scenes ever, and it's got one of the coolest opening scenes I have ever seen in any kind of action movie. And like I said on that original video that we did for the action movies, my dad took me to see this. And it was, one of these movies that was gone in 2 weeks, like a drive-in type movie. But this was one of those movies that just stuck with me for years. And when I found this on Kino out of the blue, this was the first Kino title I ever owned.
Nice.
And this is what brought me to Kino in the first place. But this is way out of print as far as I know. And I have no idea if anybody else has brought it up. But if this one's available on Tubi, check it out. It's great.
It is available on Tubi.
That's on Tubi. No shit.
Yep. It is so much fun. Not to be confused with Soldier with Kurt Russell.
Right.
I'm not talking about that movie at all.
I'm just looking to see what it goes for on eBay right now. If it's even available. Oh, there it is. $40. That's not bad. It is out of print.
Yeah, I figured it was.
55. There's not a lot of copies available.
Yeah, I'm glad I got it when I did because I got it for like $20 back in the day.
Yeah, there's 3 copies that I see right now, and the lowest price is $30 with $4 shipping.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
You might not like it that much, but I loved it.
I was just curious. Awesome. All right. It's me again, huh?
Yeah, can't wait.
Well, this This is I mean, if you know me at all, you know I'm going to have this on my list. It has an IMDb score of 4.6. It does not have a critic score from Rotten Tomatoes, but it does have a Rotten Tomatoes audience score of 61%. It's from 1978. It's Kiss Meets the Phantom of the Park. This is a bootleg copy because I didn't get an actual copy when it was actually available on DVD. But I saw this when it was on TV when I was a kid. I was 10 years old.
Yes.
Kiss was my favorite band of all time. It is literally one of the worst movies ever.
Yep.
Peter Criss didn't even show up for looping, so they dubbed somebody else's voice in. And he was probably super high on cocaine most of the time he was there anyway. They put some sort of weird effect on Gene Simmons' voice the whole time. The plot is ridiculous.
He growls a lot, doesn't he?
Yeah, he
Does
growls.
he actually even talk?
What's that?
Does he even actually talk in that movie?
Yeah,
he
does. He does talk, but they have some sort of growly like effect on his voice when he does.
I remember
talk.
him growling a lot.
Yeah, he has like a lion's growl.
Yeah.
Paul Stanley shoots a stupid laser from his eye. It's ridiculous. When they have their stunt fights, you can obviously tell it's not them in costumes. Ace Frehley's stuntman is black. So, and I say all this with love because I watched this. I watched this about a year ago, the most recent time I watched it, and I loved it. There's Kiss concert footage in it. They do a song that they never did. They do it to the tune of Hotter Than Hell called Rip and Destroy. It was directed by Gordon Hessler, who did some other great movies like Scream and Scream Again, Pray for Death. What else? Golden Voyage of Sinbad. So he's not a bad director. It's just the script sucks, and it was written and it was done by Hanna-Barbera, who are known for Scooby-Doo. So yeah, Mr. Dan says we were also disappointed with Kiss Meets the Phantom of the Park as kids. It was just neat to see them moving around and stuff because I'd only seen them, in still pictures that were hanging on my wall as a kid.
Yep.
But yeah, everybody was disappointed with it, but it just grew on me. And I've gotten to see it more as an adult than I did, obviously, when I was a kid. I think it played in like 1981 on the late night NBC movie on Sundays. And that was the second time I got to see it. But I've watched it 3 or 4 times since on DVD. I own another copy of it that's on a legal Kiss Kissology 2, I think it is. That's called Attack of the Phantoms, which is the European cut. That has all the cuts from the Kiss solo albums. Yeah. The UK cut of Phantom is more coherent. Yeah, it is. And that's the one that's on the bootleg. But this is actually got this from Stinky Tuna back in the day. Do you remember Stinky Tuna? They made bootlegs. They're gone. But it's a good cut if you can find it. But anyway, that's my guilty pleasure. So there you go. I'll shut up now. Jim's
I got my ass kicked because of that movie.
Really?
Because like you guys, I mean, Kiss was like my first love. I mean, I'm only a year older than you, Sean. So being the youngest of 5, I basically whined until Dad said, "Okay, fine, we'll put this thing on." And for 2 hours, everybody in that house was like, "This movie sucks." Smacking me and shit. And the only thing that was worse was about 6 months later, if I'm not mistaken, when the Star Wars holiday special came on, because it was the same time frame and same shit. Let me watch this, and then you see B. Arthur and Harvey
Paul Lynn.
And Paul Lynn, yeah. Hey, Mike. I can't believe you own 2 copies of that.
What?
I said, I can't believe you own 2 copies.
2 copies of the Kiss. Well, I do. Yeah, I was gonna say I don't own 2 copies of it, but I just said I did. Yeah, I do. I do have 2 copies of it, but one is on a Kissology, which is like a whole like concert, like the history of Kiss, and they just put that on there as like a special feature.
Yeah, gotcha.
All right, my next one is from 1986. It's got an IMDb rating of 5.8 and a Rotten Tomatoes of 17, and it's Cobra with Stallone.
Nice.
I love that movie.
That's probably the most mainstream one on the
Yeah.
among us so far.
Basically, yeah.
Because that movie was actually a hit too. I mean, it wasn't a blockbuster, but it certainly wasn't a flop.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. What was he? He was coming off of Rambo, right?
Yeah, but that
off
was
of
when he was doing.
Rambo
That's
2.
when he signed the Canon deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And then we
That
got
one and Over the Top.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that one I loved it. I loved his apartment. You know,
Yeah.
everywhere his apartment was like so cool. You know,
In the car.
One
car.
question about that movie has been bothering me for 30 odd years. Have you ever seen somebody take a piece of pizza, cut a little tiny piece off with a pair of scissors, eat that, and throw the rest back in the box?
no, I never really thought of that. That's very wasteful. Coming from a fat guy who loves pizza, that's very, very,
I mean,
very
take a
hurtful.
bite out of it, put it back. I mean, take scissors, cuts a little tiny. For 30 odd years, that's been bugging me.
I actually don't even remember that scene now. I will have to go back and check that out again.
Yeah, it's after he perpetuates the hate crime down with the guy that's in his parking spot.
Oh, okay.
Tears his shirt, says, "Clean up your act," and goes inside the house and immediately cuts a little tiny piece of pizza and eats it while cleaning his gun, as one does. Yeah, Cosmatos directed that one.
Yep.
Brian Thompson's awesome.
Yeah, Brian Thompson is awesome.
No, Cobra's fun. I like Cobra a lot.
Yeah,
And that's
Cobra
probably
is
the
fun.
closest thing to a horror movie that Stallone ever made.
Mm-hmm.
Because that movie it's damn near a slasher movie at
Yeah,
the beginning.
dark. It's pretty
You know.
dark.
Yeah, good pick, Kenny.
Yep.
Thanks.
Okay. This one is probably the most notorious on the list. And I was shocked that this one wasn't ranked at the bottom for all three categories, and it's not. It was tied for sixth. You know, we're on number 6 on IMDb. 17 or with a 5.3 rather. 17% critic and 35% audience. This is from 1986, directed from Steve Miner, starring C. Thomas Howell, Ray Don Chong, and the late
I
great
knew it.
James Earl Jones.
I love that movie too.
Soul Man. There is no way.
Found this on the web for C. Thomas.
Hey, shut the hell up, Siri. Sorry about that. There is no way this movie could be made today. No way.
No.
Okay. I mean, you can't even. This is a bootleg DVD. Okay.
Really?
And didn't realize it until I got it. And it's like, yeah, it's a piece of shit quality. But I was working at the theater when that movie came out, and it wasn't a huge hit, but it was a decent sized hit.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I seen it in
And-
theater.
Yeah. And at the time, the critics had a problem with it, but most of the audience I saw, they were laughing their asses off
Oh,
at it. And they thought at the end of the movie, it actually had a decent message, that it wasn't like, you know, over the top racist, you know, and this and that. For a movie starring a guy in blackface, it's not as bad as you might think.
No.
It's really not. Now, it's not good. Okay. It's not a good movie,
Yeah.
but it's a well-made movie, and the acting is decent, and I think it's a funny movie, and I still like it. So yeah, Soul Man.
That's a good one. Yeah, I've
Yeah.
been looking to find that like on DVD somewhere, and you can't find it.
You go on eBay, you can find it, okay? But there's 2 covers, all right? Do not get the one with this cover,
Oh, okay.
because this is the bootleg. It's from Top 10 New Media. That one's a piece of shit. It's a bootleg, okay? But there is an actual official DVD of this.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's just I happened to buy the wrong one. I was looking at prices and went, oh, it's probably the same, just different artwork, and you know, and no, I was wrong.
Yeah.
Good
I have
one.
not
That's a
seen
good-
that.
That's a good one.
Yeah, it's a little hard to track down because that one's not streaming anywhere. I think you could probably rent it, maybe, you know, on Prime or something like that. But as far as I know, that one's not streaming anywhere.
Yeah, Ray Dong Chung had a good year that year because she was coming off of Commando.
Yeah.
Uh,
And those two got married after
Yeah.
making that movie. They were married for like 5 or 6 years.
yeah, that's a good one.
You could rent it off Prime Video for $3.
Yeah, I thought you could rent it off of Prime, but
Oh, okay.
that's I don't think it's streaming for free anymore.
No. Steve Miner.
Yeah, who knew, huh?
Yeah, that's funny. I don't know why I never watched it. It's just it's one of those ones that just sort of fell through the cracks because it was on HBO a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good flick. Good
Thank you.
pick.
Thank you.
All right. My next one is from 1971. IMDb score of 3.4. No Rotten Tomato score, and an audience score of 24%. This was written and directed by Harry Essex, the writer of Creature from the Black Lagoon. It was directed by him too. This is why he wrote Creature from the Black Lagoon and did not direct it. And it is Octoman.
Nice.
And that face that you see on that creature is the same face he makes through the entire movie. He never changes his face. But this is a notable movie because it was the first film that featured makeup by Rick Baker, who went on to win the Academy Award for makeup effects in American Werewolf in London.
He's a god.
So you got to start somewhere.
What year was that?
1971.
Also
so that was a
available
good-
on Tubi.
Yeah,
That's
it's
6 years before Incredible Melting Man, because I thought that was like one of his first movies.
that was 78. Yeah, so that was 2 years
77,
after.
78.
Yeah, that was 2 years after King Kong. This I saw as a kid, and I saw it in the TV guide, and I was like, "Oh, I want to see that really bad." And as a kid, I didn't think it was that bad. So when I picked it up on DVD and saw it, and I was like, "Oh Jesus, this is terrible." But it's still I have good memories of it, and I like it. It is terrible. It is really bad. It really really bad. I do have a Schlock Cinema episode of this as well. I believe. I think I did one for this, and if I did, it's on the channel. I'll just let you watch that and see how bad it is. I've got a lot of pictures from the movie in it. But yeah, it was written by the same guy that wrote co-wrote Creature from the Black Lagoon. So you're thinking, oh yeah, that'll be great.
Right.
Well, he didn't direct Creature from the Black Lagoon. So Octoman from 1971.
I love that face on the creature.
Yeah. And the key word Octoman, you'd think Octoman would have 8 arms. He only has 4. So, but I guess they're counting his legs as 2. So 6. He's still not an Octoman.
Sextaman. Now you got a different movie.
Yeah. That was the unplanned sequel.
Yeah.
All right, my next one is from 1982. It's got an IMDb score of 5.8 and a Rotten Tomatoes score of 3%.
Ooh.
This was always on cable, and it's The Toy with Richard
wow.
Pryor and Jackie Gleason.
Wow. I
Me
thought
and my
Soul Man didn't age well, and then you brought up The Toy.
me and my brother still go around today. Like we'll even complete a tweet and go "you ass" and go "oof." With Jackie Gleason's name was U.S.
Yep.
And Teresa Ganzel, the gorgeous Teresa Ganzel, played his young tart wife. And she used to go around going, U.S., U.S. And he goes, it's U.S., oof. Like that all the time. And it just made me laugh all the time. And basically his little son wanted something in the toy store, and Richard Pryor just happened to be in the toy store. And he bought Richard Pryor
As a toy.
So, and that was another one we seen in the movies. But in 1982, when you're 11, you're thinking that is the funniest thing ever. You're not going into, racial stereotypes or anything because, I didn't really see color back then. I didn't know everything that went, into that. But, you know, you can't.
I think I was
you
a
can't-
freshman in high school when that came out, and I didn't think anything of that either.
Yeah, I didn't think anything of it. I just thought, hey, funny Richard Pryor, honeymooners guy, girl with big boobs, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, Mom, you want to take us to see this movie? It's a winner.
You know that kid. You know who that kid ended up becoming, right? From that movie. First, he was on the Christmas Story, the kid who got his tongue stuck to the pole.
Right, and then he was in Kidco. I remember Kidco.
Yeah,
Used to be
and
on
then he
HBO
then he went into gay porn.
No,
Yeah.
are you serious?
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
As one does.
That's a hell of a Saturday, right?
Kenny's yam alert.
Wow.
Yeah, I was waiting for that as soon as he said the woman with the big boobs. I almost said
Yeah.
Not the gay porn part, but the the
Yeah.
other part.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's a Richard Donner movie too.
I watched
Shockingly.
it a couple years ago and I thought it was funny.
Oh, I was going to ask you. That was going to be my next question. When was the last time you saw it?
Yeah, I seen it a couple years ago. I got a 4K, a Blu-ray copy at a Salvation Army. And
Yeah.
I paid $2 for it.
Yeah, I haven't seen it since I saw it when it came out. I was probably a freshman or sophomore in high school or whatever. And yeah, I remember at the time going, this is kind of uncomfortable. The rich white guy buying the
See, I didn't think
the black guy.
anything of it, to tell you the truth.
So we went from Soul Man to the toy, man. We're gonna burn. We're gonna get canceled tonight.
Yeah.
Oh man.
That's funny.
All right,
I
Jim,
could-
you're up, dude.
Okay, this one will not be a shock to either of you guys because you guys both know how much I love this movie. I had to put a drive-in movie in there. And this one's got an IMDb of 5.2, but it's got the highest critic rating out of the 10 that I've got with a whopping 45%
Oh.
and a audience rating of 32%. This is the greatest Jaws ripoff of all time, and it is Grizzly
Yes.
Oh yes, I love that movie.
with Christopher George and Andrew Prine and Richard Jekyll. Yeah, I love Jaws ripoffs. I do. It's one of those little soft spots in my heart, and there was a lot of them in the 70s. And I own a lot of them. That one's my favorite. And I think it's the best one because beat for beat, that movie's Jaws.
Mhm.
It's just in a forest instead of in the water. That's the only difference. Everything else in that movie, beat for beat, it's Jaws.
Yep.
So, love Grizzly.
Nice.
Yeah, you think about it. Richard Jekyll is the Hooper character.
Yep.
Yep.
And Andrew Prine is
Quint.
Quint. Thank you. My
Yep.
brain just went out, but yeah, I almost said Brody, and I was like, no, that's Christopher George.
Right.
But yeah, like I said, I mean, they even got the asshole mayor character as being the boss.
Yeah.
It's the same shit. We'll keep it quiet. We'll do it our way. We don't want to start a panic as they're getting slaughtered. Yeah, love it.
At the
Love
national
it. Love
park.
it.
And
That little
also
kid
is
in the
Bell
sleeping
too.
bag is still like shocking to me.
Yep.
It's so good.
James says Cruel Jaws. I have Cruel Jaws. I haven't sat through it yet though.
Yeah,
But
I never saw Cruel Jaws either. Jaws the Revenge kind of killed it for me.
yeah. Cruel Jaws with the Hulk Hogan lookalike guy. And it steals footage from all the other Jaws ripoffs and Jaws itself. Last Shark is my favorite Jaws ripoff. Oh man. All right. Back to me again. This is from 1961, IMDb score of 3.6. Our Rotten Tomatoes critic score of 25% and an audience score of 25%. This is another one I own 2 copies of.
I'm
I own
seeing
it
a
on
pattern here.
Well, I've been upgrading a lot of these because I had a lot of these on DVD. Because like I said, I grew up with a lot of these and I got them
Yeah.
on DVD, and now I've been upgrading them to Blu-ray, or in this case, 4K. It's Reptilicus.
Nice. I love that movie.
Yeah, there's 2 versions of it, and I believe this version has, maybe it doesn't. I haven't watched it yet on 4K, but I thought this had both versions. But there's an American version. Yeah, it does have the 95-minute Danish language version, which is the original. Then there's the American version that they shot new scenes for, and then they put the acid breath in, or whatever you want to call it, acid spitting into it. But this, yeah, it's totally a B movie. They find the piece of a tail while they're mining. They bring it up, they give it to a museum, and then somehow it starts to regenerate and it grows into a full-size giant snake-like monster. Makes no sense.
No,
None of these movies make any sense, but
it's glorious.
it's gloriously bad. It's a giant marionette that smashes a bunch of badly modeled things, badly modeled scenes or cities, while stock footage of armies shoot at it. So
Yep.
again, I watched it as a kid, and it even the English version looks like a Danish tourist film. There's all these scenery of like the Danish like tourist stuff, like I guess it would be Holland, or the flower farms or whatever. There's a lot of that. I don't know. It's been a while since I've seen this one, so this one isn't as fresh in my mind. So I got to watch this one again. But this immediately came to mind when I was thinking of a guilty pleasure. But I've been watching this one since I was a kid, and I also did a Schlock Cinema of Reptilicus, so you can see that on the channel. So there you go.
Glorious 4K.
Yes, glorious 4K and Blu-ray. So
That's
there you go.
awesome.
All right, my next one. I think this was previewed on Mr. Dan show. He's doing. He did I'll give you a Chuck Norris November, and this was from 1985. It's got a 5.4 IMDb and 19 Rotten Tomatoes. Invasion USA with Chuck Norris.
That was on my list, and I put it back because I thought it might be on one of your guys' list.
Yep, it's on mine. I love that movie.
It's so good.
It.
It's
so darn good. So yeah, because I seen and I had wrote my list before I had seen Mr. Dan's thing of it when he was doing it in November, and I was like, oh yeah. But Invasion USA, I must have probably spent about $50 renting that, like, over, because anytime that we needed like a third movie or a fourth movie or something, I always added, Invasion USA. I love that movie. So much fun.
Yep. It's my favorite Chuck Norris movie, without a doubt. It's not,
okay.
I don't think it's his best. Okay.
Okay.
I think Code of Silence is
his best movie. I was just going to say Code of Silence.
But Invasion USA, pound for pound, is without a doubt the most entertaining one. I mean, that there's not a boring moment in that movie.
No.
It just flies by like a cartoon. It is so much fun.
The bad guys are good.
When Richard Lynch, when you first meet him in Billy Drago's character, he shoots Billy Drago in the balls like 5 times.
Yeah.
But before that, he grabs this woman who's doing lines. It just shoves her face in this,
and throws her out the
last
window.
Straw just go. I mean, it's brutal, and it was like, holy shit! What kind of movie is this? And that's like first 10 minutes of the movie, and it just goes crazier from there. I mean, yeah, I love that movie so much.
Yeah, I'm glad. Yeah, thank you, Dan.
Tell Rostov it's time to die.
I have a story about that movie. I back in my senior year of high school, I was somehow selected to be the date of one of the homecoming court. And yeah, don't ask me how.
You go, Sean.
Yeah.
Dog you.
Yeah. And she was actually a foreign exchange student from Sweden. It gets better.
Ooh.
Ooh,
But so I asked her
big.
out on a date, and she's like, "Okay, let's go to the movies." And I said, "Oh, let's go see Back to the Future." And she's like, "No, no, 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 I don't want to see that. I want to see an American movie. I want to see Invasion USA." So that's what we went to see.
Oh,
To be fair, you don't get much more American movie than Chuck Norris in the 80s with
Exactly.
that mullet, man. I mean, come on.
wow, that's so good.
That is so good.
great.
Sean's just stealing the show tonight, man.
Yeah, sorry.
He's on fire.
Now, question: does she have a hot dog? Because that American hot dog have a Coke watching the movie. You know, because that would have been just like all American right there. And then
I
stop.
don't remember what she got at the concession stand.
Was her name Inga from Sweden?
No, it was
And was she
Cecilia.
wearing lederhosen?
no. Her name was Cecilia. I took her to the homecoming, and then after the homecoming, she promptly told me I didn't come to America to get a boyfriend and never wanted to go out with me again.
Wow. But she has the experience of Invasion USA with you, though.
Yes, she did. So
Oh,
got-
God. Whenever
Well,
she
that's
sees
good.
Chuck
Sure.
Norris, she'll think of
you
you.
got to experience Chuck Norris with me. So there you go.
He took her to see
Was she?
it.
Now I'm intrigued by this. Was she like really into it? Like she, like like to see the explosions and shit like that, or
I
she-
don't remember. I don't remember. I
Yeah,
just
he was too
sort of-
busy. Like, hey, I got this hot chick from Sweden sitting next to me. You know, I mean, come on, he was a kid.
The funny thing was that she was like a foot taller than me, and I was like,
oh
um,
my goodness.
I was a little self-conscious about that, but not as much as she was.
This just gets better and better, man.
Does she?
I'll have to dig
does
out a
she kiss
picture.
you on- Does she kiss you on the forehead and go bye bye?
No.
Dear diary, tonight I took a 6-foot giant to see Invasion USA, and she promptly went back to Sweden, never to be heard from again.
Yeah. We never had
Wow.
a second date.
Bummer.
Oh well. All
What
right.
could have
Sorry,
been.
Kitty.
Her loss, Lori's gain.
That's
Yes.
right.
All right.
All right,
Oh,
Jim,
man.
you're up, dude.
Yeah, I can't follow that shit. Okay. Next, with a ranking of 5.1, no critics rating, but
Ooh.
with a score of 58% from the audience. Okay. Okay, Kenny, I know how much you like yams. I had to throw a yam one in there for you.
All right.
One of the best, and by best, I use that term loosely because, again, none of these movies are good. All right. But one of my favorite, I should say, sex comedies from the 80s. And this movie has some incredible ski scenes in it. And I'm talking about Hot Dog, the movie,
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
starring David Naughton and Shannon Yams Tweed. And, oh, God, again, another movie that could not be made today. Just to give you an example of the humor in this movie, they're in a bar, and this girl comes up to the bar and asks David Naughton to make her a drink, and he says, "What kind?" And she says, "Surprise me." And he says, "Okay, I call this the leg spreader. You put a little bit of vodka, some rum, some cognac, some brandy, and a little bit of creme de menthe. Try this." And she goes, bam, immediately falls over, and he goes, "It's working." I mean, yeah, very, very crass movie. I absolutely love it. And like I said, if nothing else, the ski scenes in that movie are awesome. They invented extreme skiing as far as I'm concerned. I never heard of extreme skiing until this movie. And then 10 years later, now it's on the X Games on ESPN with people doing the aerials and all the other crazy shit. They were doing that in this movie early 80s, and it still holds up. I love that movie. I just absolutely love it.
It's on Tubi too, guys. So not a sponsor.
Nice.
There's my thumbs up.
That's a good one. I just Texas. Speaking of Shannon, I just watched a bad Shannon Tweed movie, one of those like late '90s Skinamax movies.
Yeah.
Called Sean, you talking? I'll look it up
Okay.
because I just watched. I'm sorry, I'm taking your time.
No, you're fine.
No, we're padding time. We're
in
at
no
120.
hurry.
So
Okay.
should I tell
All
my
right.
Snow White joke again?
All right. My next movie is from 1980. It's got an IMDb score of 5.3, a Rotten Tomatoes critic score of 40%, and a Rotten Tomato audience score of 28%. And it is Hangar 18.
Oh, that's a good one.
And I saw this in the theater with my dad.
Darren McGavin, right?
Huh? Darren McGavin. Yep.
Yep.
Darren
Okay.
McGavin, Robert Vaughn.
Okay.
Who else is in this? Joseph Campanella, James Hampton. This is just a really. I thought it was. I think Schick Sun Classics put it out back in the day. Maybe.
Yes, they did.
Okay.
Yes, they did.
And Dan says he always wanted to see Hangar 18. It's
On
don't get your
Tubi.
hopes up. It's on Tubi.
On Tubi.
It's on Tubi. All right. Yeah, it's interesting. But basically, what happens is a UFO collides with a space shuttle, and then crashes in Arizona. And then the two astronauts who were in the space shuttle basically try to get to the bottom of what happens, and the government's trying to cover it up. And it's pretty hilarious. It's like a Walt Disney UFO movie. It's if you've seen like The Cat from Outer Space, which James Hampton was in, if that was a serious movie, it would be Hangar 18.
Wow.
But yeah,
You ain't lying.
but it's fun. It's I don't know. I thought it was going to be a lot better than it was because my dad and I well, my dad's passed away, but my dad and I were big like UFO conspiracy nuts.
Yeah.
And we went to see it because we used to go to all the Schick Sun classic movies like the Mysterious Monsters and the Bermuda Triangle and all that kind of stuff. And we thought it was going to be like a serious documentary about what was in Hangar 18.
Yep.
And it turned out to be this schlocky
Yep.
piece of crap, basically. But we still had fun with it anyway, because my dad and I had very similar senses of humor about movies. We would sit there, and we were Mystery Science Theater 3000 before that was ever a thing. We would sit there and just yell at the movies. Not at the theater when we'd watch them at home, but we laughed our asses off in this movie. So that's why I like it, but it's still worth watching. So Dan, don't let me sway you from watching it on Tubi. But it is fun.
Yeah.
Same exact experience as you, Sean.
Really?
And Texas, the Shannon Tweed movie that I was talking about is called Power Play, and it's on Tubi.
Nice.
And you don't even have to wait for the story. You see yams in the first 5 minutes in the hot tub.
That's all you need.
That's it.
But no, like you, they released a lot of those movies back. You know,
Right.
In Search of Noah's Ark. That was a big one. There was one about Nostradamus.
Yep.
I used to love those.
Because Orson Welles was like the narrator of that one.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like you, I remember when Hangar 18 came out, they were publicizing that thing like it was like, we have found the proof that aliens exist and this and that and the other. And it was like, wow, cool, you know, and watching that movie and it's like, wait a minute, starring Darren McGavin, starring Robert Vaughn, what the hell is this? You know, and I haven't seen it since, but
the dead giveaway was the beginning, and they're flying the space shuttle, and we're like, wait, the space shuttle hasn't even taken off yet. They never even launched the space shuttle because it came out a year before the space shuttle went up. And I was like, what's going on?
Nostradamus, he knew.
Yeah. Schick Sun Classic. They knew what was going to happen.
Yeah, there you go.
Some people say.
Absolutely.
Mysterious Monsters is available on YouTube, or at least used to be, and I highly recommend watching that if you're in the mood for total schlocky documentary about Loch Ness Monster and Bigfoot.
Yeah, I remember that one too.
Yeah, that was. I had the book of that too. They actually had a paperback book. Oh well. Go ahead, Kenny.
The one that you picked up from Hamilton Book a couple months ago, the Orson Welles one. I watched that. That's available on Tubi too.
Is it The Late Great Earth? Is that what it was?
Yes, The Late Great Earth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, The Late Great Planet Earth. I saw that in the theater.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I seen Sean had picked that up, and I picked it. I watched it on Tubi, and it was like it was good, but I wouldn't watch it. It's like one of those ones that you just watch once, you want to watch it again. But it was I just always wondered how many bottles of wine he had doing the narration of that, you know. So my next pick kind of coincides with what Jim did, and I was going to ask you guys because I know Sean's a big fan of this one. It's from 1977, 5.3 on IMDb and a 40% on Rotten Tomatoes, and it's Day of the Animals.
Oh yeah,
that's a great.
And
movie.
I was wondering if they made Grizzly and Day of the Animals back to back because Linda Day George, Christopher George are in it, and the best is Leslie Nielsen in this movie.
He plays the world's biggest
asshole. And then you got that entire woman that's basically the Shelley Winters character, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so much fun.
Christopher George used to crank out like 3 or 4 movies a year because he did a lot of work overseas, you know, in Italy and such. And it wouldn't surprise me if that's where Day of the Animals was shot.
Yeah, because Dan just said it's the same actual bear in both movies.
Oh, okay.
Oh, really?
So I was wondering that because I watched both Grizzly and Day of the Animals back to back on Tubi, and because I hadn't seen either of them in years, and I was like, oh, that out of the two, I like Day of the Animals better than Grizzly, but Grizzly's a really good movie.
Grizzly with me, it's mainly nostalgic because of, you know, I saw it at the drive-in when I was a kid, and I still have, you know, very vivid. Day of the Animals I didn't see until cable, you know, years later. But, you know, arguably it's a better movie.
Yeah, I really enjoy that movie. Because didn't you pick that up, Sean, Day of the Animals?
Yeah, I did on my old channel. I did a what I called the 1970s drive-in spectacular, and I did a review of it.
Oh, okay.
And that was the first time I saw it, but I just picked it up on Blu-ray not too long ago.
Yeah, so it was like, that's a really good one. So
yeah, absolutely.
All right, good Jim, you're up, dude.
All right, I saved the best for last. The lowest IMDb score on my list at a 4.5, which is still higher than most of the ones that Sean had. So, but we've got a 20% critics rating and a 25% audience, which sounds about right because about 1 out of every 4 people I know at least have a soft spot for this movie, but the majority absolutely think it's dog shit. I will not disagree because it is dog shit, but it's dog shit that I absolutely love. From 2002, directed from Jim Isaac, starring Kane Hodder, Jason X.
Yes.
Ooh.
Robo Jason lives. This movie's a piece of shit, like I said, but you know what? It knows exactly what it is.
Yep.
That movie does not take itself seriously. It knows it's a stupid movie, and it goes with it. And if you're willing to go with it, it's a blast. It is so much fun. It is so stupid, but it is so much fun. And it gets bonus points for having David Cronenberg do a cameo at the beginning and getting taken out by a friggin' machete. It's yeah. And it mimics my all-time favorite kill in the entire franchise, which is the sleeping bag kill. Yep. They do it in the holodeck in this movie, and it's brilliant. And the first time I saw this, when they did that, I literally stood up and like, because I was just so happy in that moment, you know? I love Jason X.
That's hilarious. That movie was the first exposure I ever had to nanotechnology as a concept. I'm like, that's not real, is it? And then found out there was. But
That's got
yeah,
another great kill in that movie too. The one
frozen
where
face.
he grabs the chick and does it in the liquid nitrogen and freezes
Yep.
her. It is such a good effect, and it still holds up. It's a
Yeah.
great, So that movie's fun. I don't care what
that's a
anybody
fun
says.
one.
It's just fun.
Yeah, it is. I was actually, when I was doing a, trying to pick movies, I actually thought about picking one of the Friday the 13th movies. But I didn't think of that one. I was thinking of actually the Friday the 13th Part 5, which is, the one where
beginning.
he's, which is, why I would have
Scooby Doo.
But anyway, I won't say anything else about that one.
No,
All right.
but one of my favorite theatrical memories of any Friday the 13th movie was The New Beginning, because we got that in our theater day one. We got all the Friday the 13th movies day one, and they were always packed, the opening weekend. But I'll never forget the first showing of that, 7:00 showing on a Friday night. And when that ending happened, one guy just out of the blue, "This is bullshit." I just started laughing because I'm thinking to myself, dude, it's a Friday the 13th movie. I mean, get over it, But this guy was like on the verge of tears. He was so pissed off, and it's like, my God, dude, it's a movie. Relax, Yeah, this is bullshit.
I'm laughing because it sounds like what my friend did at the same time. Like, what?
Zoinks.
I'll have to look for that one. I never heard of that one before.
Jason
Friday-
X?
Yeah, I never heard it. Well, I didn't
it's
watch.
Friday the 13th, Part 10.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't watch a lot of horror movies.
Yeah,
Right.
Well, no, that movie's not a horror movie.
No.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it is, but it isn't. It's a comedy.
Oh,
That movie's a glorified asylum movie.
Right.
oh, even better.
Yeah.
It's an asylum movie with a better budget.
Yeah. That's a great pick.
Thank you.
All right.
I get so much shit for liking that movie too. So much shit.
I've only seen it twice, and it is one of the most memorable of the series.
Oh yeah.
Because for obvious reasons. But
it goes there.
that holodeck scene is hilarious.
It's so
All right,
good.
My next one is the oldest movie, I believe, on my list. It's from 1957. IMDb score of 4.9. Rotten Tomatoes critic score of 71%. Believe it or not. But the audience score is 31%. It was directed by Roger Corman.
Oh, okay.
Attack of the Crab Monsters.
I love it.
Oh, that's a good one.
I love it.
The best line of dialogue I've ever heard in a movie. I had to write it down. It's "Once they were men, now they are land crabs." This movie is great. This is actually a more recent discovery for me. I watched this maybe 4 years ago, I think it was, and I had no idea what I was getting myself into. It's about these scientists that are looking for these other scientists that went to an island. They were investigating for these strange earthquakes, and the original group of scientists disappeared. Well, they turned into land crabs.
As one does.
As one does. And the science totally doesn't make any sense, obviously, but it does feature Russell Johnson, the professor from Gilligan's Island, in it. Was written by Charles B. Griffith. It features these really, you probably can't see.
Not really. Oh, there you
There
go.
we go. Yeah,
Nice.
those are the crabs. They have these big
nice.
sad eyes with trash bag eyelids. But there's actually, the reason I picked it is this movie is terrible, but there's actually one scene in it where the sort of disembodied voice is talking and trying to lure the scientists into, I think it's a tunnel. I can't remember exactly what's happening, but it is actually creepy. It really
Yeah.
is a creepy scene, and that kind of grabbed me. So it has its heart in the right place. It's obviously a B movie through and through, but it did actually effectively creep me out for one scene. But the rest is sort of a laugh riot. So I just thought it tried really hard, even though it it fails miserably most of the time. But after I watched it, I'm like, you know what? I would watch this again just because it's entertaining, whether it be comically or unintentionally. I want to get this on Blu-ray, and Scream Factory put it out, and then it sold out like
Yeah.
instantly. They limited it to like 1,500 copies or
Mhm.
something, and then they did a reprint, and I grabbed it, so I got a copy. But yeah, Attack of the Crab Monsters. It's my last movie. It's not the best movie on this list. It's not a movie I like the most or anything, but it is a great guilty pleasure of mine that admittedly is crap, but I like it anyway.
And it's also available on Tubi.
Awesome. I think that's where I saw it originally.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was on heavy rotation on Creature Feature back in the day when I was a
Was
kid.
it?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. That's one of those movies I watched numerous times as a kid. Haven't
I
seen
never
it since,
saw it.
but yeah, it was. And you're absolutely right about that one scene. I remember that creeped the hell out of me when I was a kid.
Yeah. Yeah. If I would have seen that as a kid, it probably would have given me nightmares, and it creeped me out as an adult. So.
Well, that's just it. Some of those old Creature Features were actually, me and Dan were talking about it. Some of the creature designs and stuff back in the day, they're actually more creepy than the shit that's out now with the CG and stuff. I mean, there was some truly, maybe it's because we were younger and you're looking at it with more innocent eyes or whatever, but still, there was some freaky shit back in the day.
Absolutely. Yeah.
All right.
Absolutely.
And my last one. Hi, Katie. By the way.
I thought that was the
Hey, Katie.
last one.
No.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was the last one.
that was my 10.
Yeah,
Yeah, and then I've got my honorable mentions and I got my recommendation of the week.
Yeah. You did
So
10,
you must have
Kenny. I
skipped
wrote them
one.
down.
Did I get? Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Kenny trying to get an 11th pick.
Oh, I don't know why I did that. Wow, that's weird.
You're cut off, Kenny.
I'm sorry. Cut.
What are you sipping tonight, pal?
I just have my tea.
Mm-hmm.
We can't see what's in there. All right, so
It's
we're
the
going to
leg spreader tea. It's working.
So we're going to shift gears now and do our Oscar predictions since they're coming up. That paper mache Bigfoot head and cursive Bigfoot really got to me.
Yeah, that's what me and Dan were talking about.
I know exactly what you're talking about. That thing is nightmare inducing. Oh man. All right, we're going to switch gears. We're going to do our Oscar predictions. We're not going to do all of the Oscar predictions. We're going to predict, best wardrobe and all that kind of stuff. So we decided we would share our picks for best picture, best director, best actress, best actor, best supporting actress, and best supporting actor. We'll do this in the same round robin format that we are famous for. And we'll put the disclaimer on here that we, as a group, haven't seen too many of these movies. So our guess is about as good as rolling the dice. So judging by the movies that we just talked about.
I seen two. And one, Sean told me to watch the one. You know which one, and both of them told me to watch the other one. So I even got a subscription to the one so I could watch that movie that Jim and Sean told me about. So.
Yeah, the only two I've seen to me don't have a chance in hell of winning Best Picture. So
Yeah,
there you go.
Right. I've seen two of the Best Picture nominees, and I've seen one of the Best Actress nominees movies, and one of the Best Supporting Actors, and two of the Best Director nominated movies. So this is just going to be like throwing darts.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
All right. So do we want to go from lowest to biggest?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
All right.
fine.
All right. What do you got for best supporting actor, Kenny?
All right. I got the one that Sean told me to watch, and he told me, because I hate the actor, but he said give it a shot, and you might like it. And I have Kieran Culkin winning Best Supporting Actor because I thought he was absolutely fantastic in a really good movie too. And I am not the actor I can't stand is Jesse Eisenberg. I don't like him. I don't find him appealing. His acting, it's just he kind of reminds me of Michael Cera.
Mhm.
He plays that same part. The just the neurotic character. And Kieran Culkin was so good in this, and his relationship with Jennifer Grey. I wish they would have explored more in the movie
In
because
the
I thought
movie
that
The
was
Real Pain.
I'm sorry, The Real Pain.
Yeah.
I should have brought that up. Yeah, The Real Pain. But I thought she was very good in it too for a limited role. So that's my pick for supporting actor.
Okay. Jim?
Again, haven't seen any of the performances, so this was literally just taking a pick. Originally, I was going with Guy Pearce from The Brutalist because I think he's a great actor, and quite honestly, I was shocked to find that this was his first nomination.
Oh wow.
And he's great. But at the last minute, I changed it to Kieran Culkin, and that's mainly because he just won the SAG Award a couple of nights ago.
Oh, okay.
And he's been cleaning up on all the recent awards, and most of the heat and buzz seems to be headed his way. So
Yeah.
Haven't seen the movie, have no idea, but
It is a very
judging from
good
what
movie.
you're saying, and obviously from Sean recommended the movie to you, so obviously he enjoyed it. That's my pick as well.
Yep. And I'll just say the same thing. He's my pick as well. I've seen 2 of the movies nominated for Best Supporting Actor. And the other one was Anora. I've seen that. But yeah, I'm going to go with Kieran Culkin. So he went for the the triple header there,
Yeah.
the hat trick. So all 3 of us are going for Kieran Culkin in A Real Pain for Best Supporting Actor. All right, Best Supporting Actress. Who you got, Kenny?
Okay, I got Felicity Jones for The Brutalist because she hasn't won any of the big awards, but I liked her. I like her, and I really thought she was great in the one with the guy in the wheelchair. What the hell was that movie?
That narrowed it down.
Yeah. She was. I really like her. She's a really good actress.
Yeah, she is a good actress.
And I can't think of it. Was the one with the red? Damn, what the hell is his name? The kid that's in Day of the Jackal now. He was he
Eddie
played a chick-
Redmayne.
Yeah, Eddie. Yeah,
Oh,
where
okay.
he played. Yeah, he was.
I know what you're talking about.
She was. I thought she deserved an Oscar for that role, where she played his wife in that movie. Yeah, I'll go with. Like I said, I haven't seen any of the movies, so I'll just go with Felicity Jones.
Okay.
Good enough.
Same thing. Haven't seen any of the performances. Originally, I was going with Isabella Rossellini from Conclave. But at the last minute, again, I changed it to who won the SAG Award the other night. And that's Monica Barbaro from the Bob Dylan movie A Complete Unknown. She plays Joan Baez, and apparently she's phenomenal. So that's my pick for Best Supporting Actress.
All right, I went with Isabella Rossellini for Conclave just because I don't think she's ever won.
No.
And I figured now is a good time, and I don't know anything about any of the other performers or their performances or the other movies, and I doubt very seriously that Ariana Grande is going to win for Wicked.
Yeah.
So I just threw a dart.
Is she sick? Serious question. Is she ill? Because no, the reason why I said that, if you look at the pictures from the SAG Awards, if she's like 60 pounds,
yeah,
she's like rail thin.
Yeah.
Like, like terribly.
She's been
thin.
looking like that for like everything, all the promotional stuff for Wicked. So I don't know. I don't know what's.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know. She looks like Bale did in the Machinist.
Yeah.
Oh
mean,
shit!
No,
Yeah,
Tim, I'm
she's
serious.
super-
She's
no,
super thin.
She's super
Yeah,
thin, and she always has somebody holding her hand, like to walk her places.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
But
haven't
I don't
really
know
been
if
paying
there's something
attention.
wrong with her.
I,
She's just
that
really
was a
thin.
serious question. I wasn't making fun of it.
No, I
No.
didn't. Yeah, no, it's kind of worrisome the way she looks, and like I said, like you said, I'm not making fun of her either, but she's super, super thin.
Yeah.
All right, best actor, Kenny, who you got?
Best actor, I got Chalamet for Dylan. I think he's the hands down pick. I'm not a big fan of Adrian Brody. There's something about him that I just don't like personally.
Mhm.
But Chalamet, he seems to be the new Hollywood it boy.
Yeah,
They always pick somebody that's like really hot. Like a couple years ago was the Army Hammer, and that kind of blew up in her face big time. So I'll go with Timothy Chalamet.
okay.
Again, haven't seen any of the movies. I'm not a huge fan of him either, but I will go with Adrian Brody in The Brutalist because, again, by all accounts, it's a great performance. Everybody says it's his best performance since The Pianist, and he won an Oscar for that as well. So I'll go with Adrian Brody.
Okay. I am going with Kenny. I am going with Timothy Chalamet for A Complete Unknown. I almost picked Brody. I just something about him. His people have bad feelings about him for some reason, and I don't know what it is. But I haven't seen any of the movies either. But he was great in The Pianist, so he definitely has the talent to win. So he could, but again, just throwing darts. I just picked Chalamet. All right, best actress.
I'm going to go with Demi Moore because she should have won an Oscar for About Last Night in 1985.
86.
86, I'm sorry. 86.
That was that glorious summer at the drive-in, pal.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Sorry. Yeah, I was going to go with Demi Moore too, and actually had her down until the last second. But there's an awful lot of love going Honora's way, and that's not my pick for Best Picture. So I picked Mickey Madison from Honora for Best Actress.
Okay.
I am also going with Kenny for Demi Moore. That's who I want to win.
I want Demi Moore to win. But
that's who I'm picking. But I saw Nora last night, and Mikey Madison is the best thing about that movie. Her performance is a knockout. She's like a force of nature in that movie.
Yeah, that's what I hear.
She's 100% the best thing about it. But I really want Demi Moore to win. So
Yeah,
I'm just going to pick her.
Me too.
I think Mikey Madison will probably win. You're probably right. But those are the only two performances I've seen. So I can't say anything about the other three. So there you go. It's my educated guess between 2 out of the 5.
Yeah.
Demi's the only one that I've seen. I saw The Substance.
Yeah. Yeah. Mikey Madison is really good. But
I think with Demi, because she didn't win the other night, I think it's going to come down to one of those. The nomination is the reward.
Yeah.
For her, I'm afraid that's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
She won the SAG last.
Did she?
Yeah, she won.
Okay, there was one recently though that she didn't win.
Oh, okay.
And it was like kind of a surprise because she's been cleaning up,
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, I hope she wins as well. I do.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we'll see.
Yeah.
All right. Best director.
I am going to go with probably an odd one, but Brady Corbett from The Brutalist. I think he might win that one. He's got a lot of pull that like I read in like Hollywood Reporter and a lot of people. He's like the new up and coming guy, big guy,
Yep.
So that's my pick.
Okay.
It's my pick as well. Even though I really want now her name just went out of my head, but
the girl from
the Substance. I would love it if she won.
Yeah,
But
that would be awesome.
but again, I think it's one of those, the nomination is the award.
Yeah.
And with Brady Corbett, again, I haven't seen The Brutalist, but it's a 4-hour long movie and the Academy loves that sort of effort. So that's why I think he'll win.
All right. I'm going against the grain. I am actually picking Sean Baker for Anora, even though personally I liked the movie, but I didn't love it. I think it's one of those movies that's got like the hot hand as far as, it's about young people and it's got a kind of a I don't know. I'm not being a young person. I really can't put my finger on what you call it. Got that Riz. I don't know. But Sean Baker, I guess, has directed some other things that I haven't seen that have been really popular. I just have a feeling he's going to win, so I'm picking him.
Good.
But I think the same thing. I think in the case of The Substance, the nomination is the award for that one, and I'll let you know what my reasoning is about Brady Corbett in a minute.
Alrighty.
All right, best picture.
My best picture, drum roll. I'm going to go with The Substance. I think The Substance is going to win because it's different. I think they went with when Parasite won. I think that caught a lot of people off guard because these Hollywood phony balonies sort of like something different, especially with the younger crowd that's now in the voting academy. That you're not having the 70 and 80-year-old people in there. You got a influx of young voters now. So I really kind of think that's going to win.
Again, I hope so.
Yeah, I'd love it to win.
Yeah, me too.
Because like the other ones, I'm lying. I did see Dune 2, and I thought that was very good. But that's again a continue. We're going to continue. We're not telling a story.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Not to mention Villeneuve wasn't nominated for Best Director, so that right there tells you that it doesn't have a chance.
Right.
I'm going to go with The Brutalist again for the same reasons that I said earlier with Corbett. It's one of those 4-hour long critical darlings that everybody says is meticulously done. As far as the acting goes and everything else. Quite honestly, I don't know if I'll ever watch it because again, it's a 4-hour movie, but from what I hear, it's a very well-made movie. Originally, I was going to go with Anora because that, like Sean said, seems to have a lot of heat, and with The Substance, again, I hope The Substance wins, but I think, like I said earlier, I'm shocked that one even got nominated for what it got nominated for. And again, to me, in the Academy's mind, that's the award. So I'll go with The Brutalist.
Yep. Same here. I'm picking The Brutalist to win Best Picture just for the exact same reason. It's big, long, epic. Tells a big, long story, big, long, epic story.
Yep.
From what I hear, because I haven't seen it either. But and I think Anora, if anything upsets it, it would be Anora.
Yeah.
And The Substance, I think, is too out there to win Best Picture. I'd love to see it win, but I think that the last half hour of that movie probably ruins any chance of it winning. But I'm glad to see it nominated, and I think that's, again, going to be the award in and of itself. Conclave might pull an upset just because it's a religious type themed movie. I haven't seen it yet, obviously, but I don't think Wicked will win. I think that's too mainstream. Yeah. And a complete unknown might come out of nowhere and win because it's got Chalamet in it. And I am not a Bob Dylan fan, but there's something about Bob Dylan that critics love.
Yeah.
And, that movie might end up sweeping the whole thing. So I don't know. Again, we're all just throwing darts. That's our completely uneducated guesses of the Oscars.
Yeah, I wouldn't be upset if James Mangold won for the Bob Dylan movie, just because I like James Mangold. He's
Mhm.
made a lot of great movies, you know. So
Yeah, absolutely. Logan.
yeah, Logan, Identity, 310 to Yuma.
Yep. Oh yeah, 310 to Yuma is a great film.
Yep. Okay, so we got to do our honorable mentions.
Oh yeah, I forgot about the honorable mentions. I'm sorry.
All right.
Let's do those.
I will give you them very quickly.
Yeah.
The first one is The Man with One Red Shoe with Tom Hanks, 1985 movie. Bean the movie. Girls Just Want to Have Fun with Helen Hunt and Sarah Jessica Parker. Howard the Duck. And my final one is Johnny Dangerously.
Nice. You Fargan Icehole.
You Fargan Iceholes.
Miserable corksucker. My 5 honorable mentions are 1990's The Adventures of Ford Fairlane,
Ooh, that's cool.
1985's Life Force,
Nice.
1984's Razorback, 1982's Q, the Winged Serpent,
Nice.
and 1985's My Chauffeur.
Oh, that's a great Deborah Foreman.
Had to get a Deborah Foreman in there somewhere.
Yes.
Nice. All right. I don't have 1 or 5. I just have a series, and I told my wife, I said, I'm just going to do this and say this. All of the Showa era Godzilla movies.
Nice.
They're that's what I grew up on.
Yeah.
And you know, keeping with the giant monster theme, I will never not be proud of loving Godzilla, and
Oh,
I
no.
will always be a Godzilla fan. I have people sending me stuff on Facebook all the time. They'll find a picture of Godzilla and they'll send it to me and tag me in it, or you know, they find a Godzilla fact and they'll tag me in it on Facebook. So everybody knows I love Godzilla. Like all my friends know that I'm the Godzilla guy. So
Me too.
yeah.
Nice.
Godzilla
So-
versus the Smog Monster, baby.
Yep. I love them all. I'll watch them all, even Godzilla's Revenge, which is the worst of all of them.
Yeah.
So there you go. All right, it's 8:57. We've got time to do our recommendations.
Can't wait.
So Kenny,
My Tubi pick of the week is
it's a white screen.
a white screen. This movie is from 1979. It's called Hot Stuff with Dom DeLuise, Suzanne Plachette, Jerry Reed. There are a bunch of cops who bust into a. Let me see if it comes up. No.
Yeah. A lot of glare.
It's just a
I'm
white screen,
sorry.
dude.
But it's a very good movie. This was a big HBO movie when I was growing up, and it was always on. And I love Dom DeLuise, so anytime Dom DeLuise is on the screen, it always makes me laugh and smile. So Hot Stuff, it's available on Tubi right now. Go check it out. I think you'll enjoy it. That's it.
All right. Excellent.
Thank you.
Yeah, I saw the Hot Stuff at the drive-in.
Did you really?
Yeah, when I was a kid.
I love the Jerry Reed song, Hot Stuff, Hot Stuff.
Yeah, because I remember that was Donna Summer. The song Hot Stuff came out about the same time.
Yeah.
And they
Yeah.
were plugging that on the commercials, but I don't think the song is in the movie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the Donna Summer. No, I don't think so. I just remember because the Hot Stuff kind of basically is
Stolen
people
stuff.
stealing goods.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, Jim.
All right. My movie is from 2004. And this movie has one of the greatest casts of all time. Okay. We're talking Alec Baldwin, George Clooney, Samuel L. Jackson, and Matt Damon. I'm talking about Team America,
Yes.
World Police. America, fuck yeah. This was originally going to be on my list of 10, but believe it or not, it actually had a 71% rating on Rotten Tomato and almost an 8 on the IMDb, so it was too high. But that must be from recent reviews, because for 20 years people have been telling me how much they hate this movie, or that they won't even watch it. They got 5 minutes into it and they had to turn it off. And I have thought that this is one of the funniest movies in the last 20 years since day one.
Mhm.
It is not politically correct. It is raunchy. It is disgusting. It is so wrong. I love it to death. So my recommendation this week is Team America, World Police.
All right,
Nice.
I'll have to watch that.
You've
I
never
remember
seen
when-
it, Kenny?
I never seen it.
You've never
South
seen Team
Park.
America?
South Park guys, and it's all puppets.
It's all puppets.
It is hilarious.
Oh, okay.
The opening scene of that movie is brilliant.
Yep.
Is
But
that
it's
the
got
song that Robin Williams did?
No,
That's
that's from the South Park movie, Blame Canada.
Oh, okay. Blame
No,
Canada.
this one, like I said, it's got killer songs in it, but the most memorable one, without a doubt, is America, fuck yeah!
Yeah,
You know what I mean? That's just the
I know
song.
people
It is-
say that, but I didn't know the reference from
Yep.
it.
Yeah. Yep.
Lick
Oh,
my ass and suck on my balls, America.
Okay, I'll have to definitely check that one out.
Oh, dude, it is so funny. It's got the most graphic sex scene I have ever seen in a movie, especially if you watch the unrated version. You've never seen puppet love like that, man.
Oh, okay.
And he wants yams, not puppets. Oh, thanks, Texas.
All right, Sean.
Oh boy. All right. I don't have a physical copy of my recommendation. It's a movie that's really stupid. But it fits the guilty pleasure category. Came out in 2022. It stars Henry Thomas, of all people, from E.T. He stars as I believe he's a plumber. He goes into a house, and it turns out that the house is actually there's a it's like the hideout for criminals. I won't spoil anything, but it's called Crawl Space.
Yeah, you
And
mentioned that one recently.
Yeah, I'm throwing it up there because I wrote I'm going to read you my review of that I wrote on Letterboxd. I said I probably should have hated this movie for being so dumb, but I needed a mindless movie to occupy an hour and a half, and this is what I chose. I was constantly asking myself why the characters did the things they did rather than making more logical choices, and for that, I was entertained. So.
Honest review.
So I couldn't not stop watching it. So
There you go.
that's my recommendation.
Yeah, because
Crawl Space.
when I hear Crawl Space, I think of Klaus
Klaus
Kinski.
Kinski. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the
What-
one that first popped up on IMDb when I wrote it down.
Yeah. What
See,
year
I'm
is that?
right there.
2022.
Cool. All right, cool. Yeah, I forgot to write that down last time.
Yeah, I had another pick for today, but it didn't really match the theme, and I am notorious for not matching the theme with my picks. I was going to recommend A Real Pain, but yeah, I'll go with Crawl Space for the theme of today.
Very good. Yeah, I want to see Ape. That's the one that I really want to watch now.
Let me tell you, I got movies from both of you, and like those movies right now with Sean are sticking out to me. I gotta revisit those.
Yeah, I definitely want to see Ape.
Yeah. Well, it'll
King
test your
Kong
tolerance
lives.
for pain. That's all I can tell you.
Yeah, King Kong lives, man. It's a movie.
It's a movie. Ape was filmed in 3D. And when I saw it for the second time in the theater, I saw it in 3D. And believe it or not, the 3D actually wasn't bad.
Wow.
That's about the only thing in that movie that wasn't bad.
Wow, that's awesome.
Kind of like Friday the 13th part 3D. Oh.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. All right, guys. Great show tonight. Thanks for everybody in the
Absolutely.
chat room. Sorry, Stacy, we didn't get to all your questions. But it's been a lot of fun tonight. Hopefully we've given you some food for thought for things to watch or maybe to avoid. Who knows?
Yeah, we
but
got to do
never-
another one of these.
Yeah, definitely. And I will pick some less non.
I thought all your picks were right on.
Absolutely, yours were
Chef's kiss,
great, man.
Yeah,
mine were too
that's-
highbrow.
that's what I watch. That's the shit I watch. That's my sweet spot. That's
What
shitty
gets me
movies
is the
are
only
like-
the only title on my list that could possibly compare to yours was the elephant bukkake scene, and that one had the highest critic rating out of all of my movies.
Yeah, none of mine reached your plateau.
Yeah.
tell you.
Well, thanks, Katie. Thanks, Mr. Dan. Thanks, Stacy, and
Excellent. Thank
Thanks,
Texas, for
everybody.
jumping in. Thanks for being here, and we will see you in 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Have a good one.
Have a good night, everybody. Thanks a lot.
Bye, guys.